I'm going to show you how I make this beautiful dress from 1 year old. That will be 12 months to 2 years. You can see the dress has like a little bit of sleeve, so the pattern paper is just draw like that. You can decide to make yours the same way, and I attach a little bow. When you look at the bottom edge of the dress, I attach the same fabric from the top dress. I attach it on the lining, not on the made fabric. And you turn the dress. This is how the back is. I just decided to put just 2 buttons. It looks very, very cute. This is the dress. This is how it is. If you have not subscribed, please click that subscribe button below, and don't forget to click the bell sign so that you will be notified whenever I upload new video. If you like my tutorial, thumbs up. Make a comment below if you have any question. And as you can see right here, I have cut my pattern ready, so go ahead and do the same. The way I cut this pattern, that is like a little bit of sleeve here. So what you have to do, this is my pattern paper. All you have to do, just extend your shoulder seam to 1.5 and then move down or extend it to 2.5, and then just draw a little bit of curved line, not so curvy. But if you don't know how to do it, just go ahead and make a sleeveless dress. So for the back, I'm from the neckline, I move down 1 inch because I want the back to be a little bit open. This is how the back look in the front. The next thing to do is to put the both shoulder seam together. Open your front dress. Then put them together like this. Take your pin them in place. Take it to your sewing machine, stitch the both shoulder seam, and you also take your lining. You do the same thing. Open the lining, put the both shoulder seam together, and take it to your sewing machine and also stitch the shoulder seam in place. I have stitched the both shoulder seam together, and I also do the same thing with the lining. The next thing to do is to put them together like this. Make sure both fronts are facing each other. Take your pin around the neckline and the armhole. Pin the neckline and the armhole and the center back. So take it to your sewing machine, stitch the both armhole, the neckline, and the center back. If you're going to attach a button, just go ahead and stitch the center back to the end. If you're going to attach a zip, you don't have to stitch the center back. You have to leave it open. So you have to measure the zip allowance where you're going to stitch your zip. So for me, I'm going to attach a button, so I will just stitch across the center back, the neckline, and the both armhole. So place your presser foot like this. Your stitches allowance is 1 centimeter. I have stitched around the armhole and the neckline, also the center back. Once you have done stitching, take your scissors, snip around the armhole curve and also the neckline. Once you're done with that, take it to your ironing board, press it very well. If you watch my video, I always make this comment that take it to your ironing board and press it very nicely, because if you don't do that, you cannot really achieve what you're seeing right here on my table. So it is very important when you're making a dress, you have to iron them all the time so that you will come out with a good result. Once you have done with that, put the both sides seam together. I have stitched the both sides seam together. This is how it finally look. This is the front, as you can see, and this is the back of the top. The next thing to do is to take your skirt to your sewing machine. If you cut a very long fabric, you just go ahead and stitch a gather stitch on your skirt. If you cut two pieces of the same fabric, what you have to do, put the both sides seam together, take it to your sewing machine, stitch across. Make sure you're using a normal stitch to stitch the both sides seam together. Once you have done with that, then also go ahead and stitch a gather stitch on the skirt. You also do the same thing with the lining. I have stitched the gather stitch thread on the skirt. The next thing is for you to gather your skirt that you're making. So just pull the thread and just keep pulling it. That's where me come from now. I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. I have gathered the skirt and I also pin it on the waistline of the top dress. So before you pin it on your top dress, what you have to do, measure the seam allowance for your buttons. So mine is 2.5 centimeters. So I put them together and I take it to my sewing machine. You can see a straight stitch right there. Once you've done that, before you will pin the skirt on the dress. So as you can see, both the lining and the made fabric, I pin them together. I don't want to stitch them in separate, so I just pin them together. So what I'm going to do right now, I will take it to my sewing machine, just stitch along the waistline. I have stitched this garter skirt on the top dress. This is how it looks. It's very cute. The next thing for you to do is to take it to your sewing machine, give it a top stitch on the waistline. When you want to stitch the waistline, what you have to do, you can see the waistline that where you overlock it, or you use your zigzag to overlock the raw edges. Push it towards the top dress, not down. You push it towards the top dress and you start stitching. Make sure it's close to the that's where me come from now. I believe it. 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 I have stitched the waistline, as you can see how it is. The next thing for you to do, you either take it to your sewing machine, hem your dress around, and you also do the same thing with the lining, or this is optional if you want it to look more very beautiful. What you have to do, cut a very long fabric like this, measure 3.5 inches, fold it into two, press it very nicely. So this is folded into two. Mine is not so long, I have to join it. Then open your dress. So you're going to attach the fabric on your lining, not on the made fabric. So what you have to do, cut about 1.5 inch out of your lining. Then take your pieces of fabric, place it on top of it. So you place it on top of it like this. You pin it all around. So you pin it all around, take it to your sewing machine, stitch it all around the lining. So once you're done stitching, it will look like this. So once you're done stitching, make sure you also take it to your ironing board, you press it, give it a top stitch around. So let's put that together. So for me, I'm not going to pin it all around. I just pin this place just to hold the fabric on my lining. So I will just go ahead and stitch it around the lining. And I have already cut out my 1.5 inch, so I will just start stitching right away.
GJ, funky for gang baby. ED oh, oh yeah do. ED oh, oh yeah do me. See, I want you to know that I'm from a beautiful country where we call Niger. Everything we want we got. South of Niger, now there we get the dough.
You have done stitching it on your lining. So like I said before, make sure you take it to your ironing board, you press it very well. As you can see, I have done that. So when you're going to stitch, give it a top stitch, all you have to do, make sure that your stitch edges before is facing the lining. So I just take mine to my overlocker, just overlock the raw edges. If you don't have, use zigzag to overlock the raw edges. So make sure it's facing like this. As you can see, it's facing towards the lining, and then give it a top stitch all around.
I believe it, oh. I believe it, oh. I believe.
Now that you have done stitching your lining, the next thing for you to do is just to hem your dress. So now you're hemming your made fabric, not the lining. So just fold it and fold it again and give the top stitch all around. You can set your sewing machine to 3. So I have hemmed the dress. As you can see, I've hemmed the dress, and you can see a little bit of the top fabric is showing at the bottom edge. So like I say, attach it on the lining, not on the made fabric. This is how it look, and I just decide to attach a little bow to make it cute. And I also go ahead and stitch my buttonholes and also stitch the button on the dress. This is how it finally look. As you can see right here, it's very, very beautiful. It's not so difficult to make. If you have not subscribed, please click that subscribe button below, and don't forget to click the notification bell so that when I upload video, you will be the first to be notified. If you like my tutorial, thumbs up. Make a comment below if you have any question. Thank you for watching and have a beautiful day. Bye.